You know that moment at the end of a long day, the one where your brain whispers, I've earned this glass of wine. And before you know it, it's become part of the routine. It's not a problem exactly, but it's not really serving you. And if that sounds familiar, you're so not alone. This is Inside the Wellspace, and I'm your host, Cathy O'Brien. More and more, women are waking up to this thing called gray area drinking. It's that space between casual sipping and full-blown dependency, and realizing maybe I'm just tired of feeling tired all the time. So today, we're diving into that space with someone who knows it better than anybody. Jenn Kautsch, the founder of Sober Sis, a global community of over 40,000 women redefining their relationship with alcohol without judgment, without labels, and without guilt. 8 years ago, Jenn found herself in what she calls the detox to retox loop. I'm sure we can relate. She was healthy and disciplined by day, but stuck in a pattern of mindless evening drinking. So she created what she couldn't find, which was a sisterhood for women ready to pause, reflect, and rediscover your own presence. Through her 21-day reset challenge, her book, Look Alive, Sis, and her growing sober-minded movement, Jenn has helped women break free from autopilot and reconnect to what really fills them up, mind, body, and spirit. Today, we're talking about what it means to live sober curious, how to know if you're in that gray area, and how awareness, not willpower, can lead to real freedom. So, if you've ever wondered, why am I still drinking even though I'm kind of like over it? This is for you. Hi, Jenn.
Hi, Cathy.
It's so good to
Great
have
to
you.
see you too. And just the way you just described my intro, I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Doesn't that make you be like,
we do what we do?
why do we do what we do? You know what? And we do what we do in so many ways in our lives for so many different things. I don't know, but it's all this like awakening stuff that we need to do for ourselves, right?
Totally.
Can you tell us about you, Jenn? Tell us your story and give us the whole thing because it's so good.
Well, thank you for having me. It's really a joy and an honor just to get an opportunity to share a little bit about my story. Real time right now, when we're recording this, I am 54 years old. I've been married 30 years, have 2 kids that are now in their mid-20s. But boy, my drinking story started in my young 30s. So we're going to rewind the story, rewind the tape.
Let's go.
Really, I could go back further, but my drinking didn't really start picking up until my young 30s. Unlike a lot of people, but also like a lot of other people, I was a little bit later in life drinker. And again, that's all relative. It's such a relative term these days.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of women who start really drinking more as an empty nester. And I work with women who have been drinking since they were 15.
Totally. All of it runs the gamut for all of us. We're all different.
Everybody.
We're all different and we're all the same.
Exactly. For me, actually, in my youth, in my younger days, like my teenage years and college and even my 20s, those were not my drinking years.
Okay.
I had drinks here and there, and I really just didn't care for them.
Yeah.
It just was not my thing.
Yeah.
And so in my young 30s, I think that's kind of what set me up for a little bit of naivety to just kind of stepping into what would become really, truly the drinking world.
Gotcha.
And I was at a networking happy hour like many of your listeners go to all the time.
Yeah.
And there I was. That's why I'm really passionate about talking about happy hour and wine o'clock, because that was the genesis of my drinking. And just a friend turned to me and said, "Hey, Jenn, why don't you get a drink with us?" And I thought to myself, why don't I?
Yes. Come on, unwind, right? Relax.
Yeah, like why? Actually, why don't I? I've never really tried to not drink.
Yeah.
I've never really been drawn to drinking, but it was just kind of encouraged. And I think, so much in culture was starting to change even around that time. Just the social aspect of drinking even becoming more prominent everywhere.
Exactly.
I mean, drinking's always been around.
And acceptable, right? For us, it's acceptable, acceptable drug of choice.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've got, Carrie and the girls from Sex and the City, drinking up their Cosmos.
Yes.
You're just starting to see it more and more around that time.
Yep.
I was like, let's go. Work hard, play hard.
Sure, girl. Yes.
And like you mentioned earlier, Cathy, from the top, just super mindful, healthy, wellness-oriented by day.
Yeah.
So this is just kind of a way to let loose, let off some steam.
Like you deserve it, right? It's a reward.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of rolled right in. And because, I didn't have a lot of drinking experience, I had some epic fails first, few years, really, just kind of picking up where most people had already conquered, just kind of learning like how much to drink, how fast to drink, how slow to drink.
Yeah.
So I really spent my 30s actually just kind of catching up.
Okay.
Felt like I was a little bit late to the party, so I was catching up.
Okay. And did
boy,
you
did
have
I.
your kids then by chance or no?
I did. I had little young ones.
Yep.
Actually, I didn't drink when they were, toddlers, but by
Right.
then they were just close to school age. So
Yep.
I was like, even better. They really don't need me all day. So
Yeah.
if I need to just kind of put my feet up and just kind of recover from the night before,
Sure.
I'll still get everything done.
Totally.
Um,
And it's like a mom thing too. It's a socializing
totally.
mom thing to have the wine and the girl
Yeah,
chats
kind
and
of
the
the
whatever.
mommy wine juice
Yes.
culture was
Totally.
just also
Yep.
kicking off.
Yes.
And it just kind of became kind of a meme, kind of a tea towel.
Yeah. That's
Kind of a
funny.
joke.
Yeah.
And everyone was just kind of like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there I was in my
Yes.
30s, catching up. Really, though, I've got to say, Cathy, out of the gate for me, because I had been sober-minded and living an alcohol-free lifestyle for a good solid decade
Yeah.
as an adult, it really just kind of gave me a lot of mental tug-of-war
Okay.
right out of the gate.
Okay.
Because I knew what life was like without drinking.
Yes.
And I started to recognize, even in my 30s, which I didn't quit drinking until my mid 40s, but
Okay.
even in my 30s, I started to recognize, hey, this is kind of like a divided mind. Like I feel like I'm kind of one person by day, mindful, and kind of another person by night, mindless.
Oh,
And that goes to that
interesting.
detox to retox loop. Kind of detox, mindful, super responsible, uber healthy. And then at night, I'm just kind of zoning out, numbing out, checking
Yes.
out, mindless.
Yes.
And these two are very different.
Gosh,
And
that's
I started to
fascinating.
really feel that.
And I think probably a lot of people can relate to that though, Jen, honestly. Because we
Totally.
all do it, and especially when you're a mom and if you're a working mom, and well, all moms in general. I mean, we have heavy duty
sure.
loads on us during the day. And then at nighttime, you just, and that's,
Yeah. It became, my
it's,
treat, my
yeah,
reward,
yeah,
glamorous, encouraged,
yeah,
promoted,
yep.
all the marketing and messaging. I mean, I was just buying in hook, line, sinker. So by the time I was in my 40s, now I've got teenagers.
Right.
Okay. Now the heat of life is really turning up. And so is my habit.
Okay.
And I'll call it a habit. It really started off as just kind of a pleasantry.
Right.
Then it kind of turned into a habit. And really, by the time I was in my mid 40s, it was the routine.
Got
It was like autopilot. There were times, Cathy, I was even just pouring a drink that I didn't even really want.
Right.
It was just kind of what I did. It was just part of my, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock in my kitchen,
Right.
at book club, a happy hour.
Yes, you just
This is
do
what I
it.
do.
Wait, I'm just gonna say right there, this is a moment for everybody to think about too. It's you start because it's pleasant, it turns into a habit, and then it becomes your routine. And
Yes.
that's a real arc. I just ask everybody to just sort of think about that for a minute as we're talking, like your own arc. What does that look like?
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm glad you picked up on that because
Yeah.
that's how subtle
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
subtle.
I
Yeah,
didn't go
it's
from
subtle.
being a non-drinker to being able to do the bottle breakdown,
I know.
which is what I call when you're just going to maybe you've seen that video of mine.
Wait, it's so
The
funny.
bottle
Go.
breakdown
Yeah.
where, hey, you're not going to drink tonight, but then you
Right.
decide, yeah, you will, but you're just going to have one.
Yeah.
So you open the bottle, the white wine,
Yep.
it's in the refrigerator door just to kind of keep it on
Of
the
course it is.
DL a little bit.
We all know this. We know our fridge, right? We
Yeah,
can
we all
see
know
it.
our fridge, and we all
We've
know
got
kind
it.
of a good spot where it's not like just so
Yeah.
monitorable.
Right.
So you got it in the door.
Right.
You're just going to have one. It's 5 o'clock. I mean, you got a good 5 hours to go till
Yep.
bedtime. It's kind
Yep.
of like if you're a mom, it's the night shift. And again, I love being a mom. I love being a wife. I really love my life. And so
Great.
why am I numbing out? Why am I checking out? And that was the deeper work that I really needed to do.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would just start off with, I'm just going to have one
Yep.
glass,
Yep.
and then it would be 5:30. I already had my one glass.
Like, well,
I got another 4.5 hours to go. I mean, the meat's still in the skillet. I mean, we're just getting started. And so I'm like, well, actually, I think I'll have another. I mean, just to top it off, people are running late here.
yes.
Or, maybe I'll have a second or third glass while I'm cleaning
there you
the
go.
dishes that I
Yup.
just cooked.
Uh-huh.
And before you know it, it's 8 o'clock. You're at the kitchen sink. This was me. And I'm on my third glass of wine thinking, how did I get here?
So easy.
Wait a minute.
So easy.
Whoa, hold the phone. And then I'm like, oh, well, I've already defeated my healthy living goal. I might as well just finish
Finish it off,
And
right?
That's a joke. That's not going to do anything for another time.
I know. I can't
I'm
leave
in
that. I
reality.
can't leave that in the fridge.
No.
No.
And so I would just pour that in the glass and recycle the bottle, get it gone, get it out of here. Just can't believe I did it again. Oops, I did it again. And I would just go have that fourth glass in the bathtub, and before I know it,
sounds like
went from I'm not drinking tonight.
Yeah.
I don't need to. It's a Tuesday night. I'm just at home.
Right.
To oh my gosh, I just slowly, mindlessly sipped through a whole bottle. I mean, I'm having a glass an hour.
Did it again. Yep. Did it
Pacing
again.
myself here.
Yeah.
And I did it again. What in
Yep.
the world? And so that was starting to become a routine. I don't know, 2-3 nights a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Okay.
And that's the thing about this gray area drinking, which I know we're going to get into,
Sure.
is it was somewhere in the middle of the kind of every now and again drinker and someone who is further down the spectrum with really a more severe physical addiction
Right.
with alcohol use disorder.
Okay.
And I'm just right there in the middle.
Smack
I'm in
in
that
the middle.
crazy middle ground where
Yeah.
I can take it or leave it. But if I leave it, I'm going to feel deprived and miserable.
Right.
But I physically can, and I chose to often.
Okay.
I could go for days, weeks, or even months at a time
Okay.
without drinking,
Gotcha.
using all the willpower. But
Yep.
that, as we know, fatigues. It gives
I think
out.
that's an important distinguisher too, is that it really isn't about willpower, because I do that too. Like I'll stop for a period of time, like, and
Yeah, I'm
then,
like, see?
but it's willpower. It's not an internal review / transformation. I know we'll talk about that, but so yes, so
Totally.
that's I think an important word to call out.
Yes,
It's not about willpower. Like you're not weak if you
No.
can't. It's a
Exactly.
thing. Like you have to really look at it. Yeah.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just to kind of let you know kind of how I got off the drinking highway, if you will.
Yeah.
We're going to use the analogy of a highway a lot today, I think.
Great.
But yeah, I kind of got on the drinking highway and kind of exited off. So I kind of got a late on ramp
Yep.
and kind of an early exit in relation, again, not to compare, but just along the way. A good 15 years I put in there, though.
Okay.
That was enough for me to really see that this was not aligning with me.
Mhm.
It was causing so much duplicity in my own life, living with such a divided mind. And so it was right before I turned 46. There I was literally right in the middle of my 40s. My daughter had just turned 18. So her 13 to 18 was my 40 to 45. And it was
Gotcha.
spicy.
It was spicy.
It was a spicy time.
Okay.
And we made it, we made it through. And so there she goes, getting to kind of reinvent herself
Right.
and have a new season in life.
Mhm.
That's such a transitionary time for a young person.
Sure.
I'm like, well, wait a minute, I need a transition too, because I've got stuck in a rut and I am playing small in my own life. I'm
Good
like
for
doing
you.
all the right things by day just to get kind of numb and kind of squash my voice in the evening. Kind of hide from conflict, just kind of stay low, stay little, and just wasn't living out a lot of my purpose. I was just kind of gliding through.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I want to reinvent myself too. In fact, hey,
Thank
I got
heavens.
an idea. I want to show up at 50 different than I did 40.
Okay.
And there I was, right smack dab in the middle of that decade. And I thought, well, golly, if I'm going to show up at 50 different than I did 40, this is going to be a lot more than a juice cleanse. I mean,
Wow.
I am going to need to dig a lot deeper.
Okay.
Where do I even start? I mean, I felt over everything, like you said, just kind of over it.
Yep.
Just over it, over responsible,
Yep.
overweight, over it.
Over it. Yeah.
Just over it. And so I thought, well, you know what? There's a lot of things I want to change in my life, a lot. And the list kind of seemed overwhelming. So I thought, you know what? I know a good place to start. Let's start with the most tangible, obvious thing that is misaligning for me that probably could be a lead domino. If I could knock this one down, maybe I could knock some other ones down, like better sleep, more energy, then maybe I would want to work out more, then maybe I would feel better, like
All of
all
it.
the things.
Yes. Engagement,
So I
all of the
decided
above.
to tackle my wine o'clock routine, and I did show up at 50, different than I did 40.
You looked at your drinking and decided, you know what? I think I'm not even going to do moderation. I'm just going to be done.
I had tried moderation during those 5 years, that age 40 to 45.
Okay, got
I
it.
moderated so many times, stop, start, kind of like a yo-yo drinker
Okay.
instead
Yep.
of a yo-yo dieter. I was
Yes.
like a yo-yo drinker.
Right.
And I would get with my friends and they'd be like, "Are you on or off?" I'm like, "Well, I'm on right now. Let's go." Or I'd be like, "I'm off, but y'all have fun." I won't be having any fun.
Right.
I could moderate until I couldn't.
Yep.
I kind of had the 80-20 rule running. And again, I think that's kind of a gray area drinker kind of mentality. Like 80% of the time, I'm staying within my bounds. I'm just having a kind of a mindless sipping experience, kind of homogenous,
Got
if
it.
I'm being honest.
Okay.
It wasn't really always that bad or that great. It was just kind of there. It wasn't making things that much more awesome
Right.
or that bad.
Right.
And I wasn't, falling down and getting a DUI or rock bottom. So about 80% of the time, it was just kind of like,
Like for what? Right. Like,
for
okay.
what? I
take it
enjoyed
or
the
leave
first
it.
20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then for the next 2 hours, I'm chasing the buzz.
Right.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then, there's that 20% of the time that I'm like, yeah, tied one on. Maybe it was a wedding. Maybe it was, a whatever series of circumstances. Maybe it was just how it hit me that night.
Maybe,
But that's
right.
what was unpredictable.
Yeah.
It was unpredictable, and I didn't like that either.
No.
Because I could do all the right things, and it still kind of hit me wrong.
Yep.
Like, wake up more hungover than I thought I should for having to, when really I could drink more sometimes and feel less affected. So it didn't make any sense.
Yes. And then you wonder what's going on, what it's doing to your body too.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Which I really, at that point, had no idea.
No, close.
So, yes, to your point, I decided, you know what? I know the roller coaster ride. I kind of want off the ride. I don't know about forever or always. That seems a little intense.
Right.
So I was up for setting a goal.
Okay.
My first goal was 6 weeks.
Great for
42
you.
days, 1,000 hours.
Okay, I love that's a good place to just call out to everybody too.
Yes.
Is that you don't, if you're looking at this and you do want to make a change for yourself, it does not have to be forever. You do not need to approach it that way. You can just say, I'm going to do, to your point, I'm going to do 2 weeks, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
So that's great. And that's sort of like a little bit of a relief, actually.
Yeah. I did not set out to never drink again. I mean, it was kind of a secret heart's desire, but quite honestly, I didn't think, number one, I could do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure that I wanted to really do it. You got to
Fair.
really want to do it.
Yes.
We live in a very alcohol-centric society,
Yes.
so you got to have a really strong why
Yes.
as to changing a lifestyle choice like this.
It's like any change, right? You got to want it. You're the
You
only
gotta
one. You're
really
the
want it.
only one who can do it. You have to want it from the deepest part
From
of yourself.
really deep within.
Yep.
So I had enough depth for a 6-week commitment. And then that was it. That's all I signed up for in my mind, from the get-go.
Yeah.
And during that time, my goal was to learn as much about alcohol as I could instead of just stiff-arming it and going, ugh, that makes me feel bad. Or I feel ashamed if I look at it too closely because then I feel like a moral failure. What if I find out that alcohol creates a thirst for itself? Then maybe I don't feel like such a lush when I want more. Maybe that is the nature of the substance.
Yes. Yes.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Why do I use it at 5 o'clock to pick me up and make something more fun and then use it at 10 o'clock as a sleep aid? Is it really that magical? Can it really do all those things?
Right.
Like, what is it doing?
Right.
And so I got real curious. And instead of using willpower, which I had done in the past, and it had worked for me up to a point and then failed me, I started just bringing a lot of willingness.
Okay.
Willingness to the table, willingness to be uncomfortable, willingness to have those awkward moments out socially, willingness to practice what I did want to say by knowing what I didn't want to say.
Okay.
All the things. I just got willing. And instead of a deprivation mindset, which I had been dragging around every time I didn't drink, I was like, oh, so sad.
Poor me.
Poor thing. What happened? Nothing happened. I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want anything to happen.
I started going from deprivation mindset, like no pain, no gain, to actually the pain of a hangover is kind of a ripoff. What if I look at it as what am I gaining? Actually, a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, so I started focusing on what I was gaining, not what I was losing, except for the hangover, except for the wasted money, calories,
all that stuff.
So after I made it that 6 weeks, and listen, it was not always easy. There were moments where I was like, man, This is hard. In fact, during that 6 weeks, I had Mother's Day, my anniversary, and my birthday.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
We just slipped them all right in
Might as
the
well.
first 6 weeks
Yeah, just do it.
of my journey. I thought, well, I've had birthdays where I didn't drink and had a great time. I've had birthdays where I drank and I think I had a great time. I don't know if I would attribute that to alcohol or not,
Right. Right.
Like giving alcohol way too much power, way too much
Yes.
value.
Yep.
Like, was it the people I was with that actually made those birthdays fun? Or was it the elixir we were drinking?
Yeah.
Well, I like to think it's the people I'm with,
Probably.
not what I'm putting in my body that's
Probably.
taking my mind away.
Yep.
So after the 6 weeks, I was like, well, okay. That was easier than I thought and harder than I thought at times.
Isn't
But
that interesting? Yeah.
I'm willing
There's the
to
word.
keep going.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot for 100 days. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Triple
my
digits.
goodness.
We're going
Okay.
in.
Go.
And I thought, oh my gosh, that would just be like a big milestone. Meanwhile, I'm reading books, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm really getting into habit research, mindset stuff. I'm taking a lot of the time that I would have spent drinking, thinking about drinking, managing my drinking, getting the drinks, getting rid of the drinks, recovering from it's a lot of time.
It is, though.
I didn't realize as even a casual yet habitual gray area drinker, how much time and mental bandwidth and energy it was taking for me as a drinker. And just lost time. That it's just like lost. Like,
that
what
you're
are you
just
doing?
thinking about it too. Like, I can't wait to get home and have my wine, or I can't wait to go out and have that drink with my friend or whatever.
It's almost like once I started drinking, the productivity just went way down to I've started drinking. I guess, I'm relegated to just sit in front of Netflix now.
That's right.
Because I can't really.
Because that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So you did that and you made it through the 100 days.
That was the summer of 2017. And I was like, well, okay. Let's just keep going.
Let's keep going.
Again, not getting my mind tripped up on the forever never statements, because I don't even say those now. Our mind does something really weird with resistance when we start saying that. We're only guaranteed today anyway, not even the full day, really just this moment.
This is so true. And that's something that we need to just embrace and remember.
Yeah. And just chill out. Like we've been just given right now.
Yeah.
So if we think, well, I can't stop drinking because I don't know what I would do if I ever went to Paris and I was underneath the Eiffel Tower and I was offered champagne, what would I do? I would love to find out.
Right. Yeah.
Anybody want to take me to Paris? No. I would love to find out. Now I think I know because I've had enough practice at doing amazing things without inviting alcohol as the guest of honor.
Right. There you go. Oh, I love that you called it the guest of honor.
So, 6 months in, I had a really big temptation where I just almost hit the eject button. But here's the deal, and here's a lot of what I teach and coach about, is let's say I did slip 6 months in. Would I have lost the 6 months that I had put in alcohol-free? No way. So what I tell women that I work with is it's not about getting so caught up in these counting days. I think it's great to have milestones and celebrate those. I do, and I think it's wonderful, but I think it really is about progress over perfection more. And I think if you're just counting days or just looking at a calendar, you could miss it. You could miss the forest for the tree.
I agree with that. I like that. I really love that philosophy. I grew up in a household where my father was an alcoholic and my sister was an alcoholic, and we did a lot of like Al-Anon and Alateen and that kind of stuff. So it felt very punitive. It felt really punitive, and there was this whole counting days thing, and it didn't feel good. Fear.
Kind of maybe some fear there and a shame of like all or nothing.
Yes, shame.
Good or bad, successful or failure.
Yeah.
And again, I think to each their own with what works for them.
100%.
I'm a big fan, and I know you are as well, of whatever works.
100%.
For me, getting caught up in the days, I'd already done that before. I even took a year off in my late 30s after I'd been drinking 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
I took the year off.
Yeah.
And I rocked the bikini with my husband on the beach. That I did.
No bloat, no wine bloat there.
But it didn't last because there was no internal change. There was just external change.
Right.
And so you can count days all you want, and you can make external changes and behavior modification. But what I was trying to do in 2017 that's been able to sustain a thriving, imperfect over here, but thriving lifestyle is working from the inside out.
What was that then was the game changer for you?
Well, for me, at that point, I'm 6 months in this kind of personal experiment, if you will. And at
Yeah.
that point, I'd been a part of Facebook groups and kind of journeyed with some others, but never really found my group. So at that point, I felt a little bit like a lone ranger.
Mm.
And that was definitely starting to make it much more difficult because I am married to a wonderful man who is a drinker.
Yeah.
Most of my friends drink.
Yep.
Again, drinkers tend to hang out with drinkers. So as a drinker, I surrounded myself with other women who wanted to go to a happy hour. So, and I didn't go get a whole new set of friends.
No, you don't want to lose your friends. You love your
I
friends.
know, and these are great gals.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter to
No.
me what they have in their glass as
No.
long as it doesn't matter to them what I have in mine.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
so at that point, I started to realize, okay, the mind is catching up and the brain is catching up. It's almost like our mind is like the software and our brain is like the hardware.
Okay.
And, we've all got phones. And when you get like a software update on your phone, you can get that overnight. You can get that instantly.
Yep.
Hey, you can listen to this podcast and get a mindset boost.
Yep.
But you're still going to need to eventually change the hard wiring of your brain.
Yeah.
That's what takes the time.
Yep.
So I was updating my mind, but I was also giving my brain time to catch up. So at that point, I'm starting to synergize. I'm feeling aligned, mind, body, soul. I'm starting to do what it is I actually want to do.
Okay.
That was good.
That's great.
But I was starting to feel kind of a little bit alone and a little bit like I still haven't YouTube song here. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I hadn't found that yet. So it was December 25th of 2017. I'd been about 8 months on the alcohol-free journey myself, not even a full year. And I turned to my husband on Christmas Day of that year. And I just said, hey, babe, I wish more women knew what I knew because I cannot believe it. I have just made it now through the holidays, like birthday, anniversary, all that in the first 6 weeks.
Yep.
Then, Halloween, Thanksgiving, all holiday cocktail parties.
Yep.
It's like I made it, but I didn't just make it counting down to when I could drink again.
Right.
I made it with I am transforming my life.
God, what a great feeling.
And that's when the idea for Sober Sis began, was in that tender moment where I was like, man, I wish more women knew what I knew. And at that point, I had no idea what was coming next. And began just sharing my story, which was very scary right out of the gate. Growing up as a non-drinker, being seen as just a social drinker, knowing that internally I was having more of the struggle than externally for people to see. For me to kind of come out and go, actually, I really had an unhealthy relationship with drinking.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, whoa. And you've started something called Sober Sis. I'm like, oh my gosh. The word sober is pretty loaded.
Yeah.
It can be a stigmatized, stereotyped word.
Yep.
And 2017, the sober curious movement, the alcohol-free lifestyle had not picked up really the traction that it has now with so many celebrities and people just going alcohol-free for the health of it.
Right.
It was starting to emerge, but it was still kind of like, why would you quit unless you absolutely had to?
Right.
I was like, well, I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I got to.
See,
and that
I
was
love
already
that.
a paradigm shift for people.
That's so great. I got to. Yeah. Yes, because it is, it's you're kind of tethered to this. Like it's not an easy thing to do, Jen. It's just not.
No.
It's not easy.
If I can do this, there's a lot of other things I can do.
Good for gosh. Okay, so Sober Sis. So you started something what is called Sober Sis and is now a community. So how did that, what is it?
There I was, 8 months alcohol-free, still looking for my sisterhood, my tribe. And, what I was finding out there was great. It was good. It was a lot of mixed company, men and women. It was a lot coaches, guides, or leaders who seemed kind of far removed, like maybe not as involved with what they were teaching. It was more like pre-recorded, kind of like, here it is. It's all good. And I was like, I don't know. I really want somebody who's like doing it.
Yes.
I want somebody who's like doing it right now.
Right.
And showing me how they're still doing it.
Right.
And, for me, I wanted a more holistic approach than I was able to find out there.
Yeah.
Meaning mind, body, and spirit.
Beautiful.
I'm a person of faith. I come from the Christian faith. And so I could go to church and I could pray, but I wasn't about to talk about it at like a small group Bible study.
No.
Like, ugh, that felt kind of Can we
Not
talk about
appropriate.
that here?
Yeah.
What's really funny is half of the women around the table would have been like, yeah, I feel like I'm drinking more than I want to too,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just didn't know how to talk about drinking without instantly being labeled, judged, or stereotyped.
Yeah. Fair.
So I wanted to create a place where there was a place to wrestle with it out loud without having to wear a label,
Mhm.
without having to even say you're never drinking again.
Right.
Just a place to explore.
Yep. Explore. I love
Bring
that.
in a faith component, bring in a mindset component,
Mhm.
bring in a lot of science, which was definitely the missing piece for me.
Yeah.
I just thought, try harder. I mean,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
cannot try harder with an addictive substance.
Yeah.
It just
No.
doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not
But
make sense.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so bringing in all the aspects of the habit loop, decision fatigue, the actual properties of alcohol itself, what it's doing, being able to be grace-based instead of legalistic and all about rules.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. So that's what I started kind of creating. And I just put together at that point in 2018, I just started putting together these emails, sharing my own experience, the best of what I'd found, kind of curating, and started an Instagram in March of 2018 with a picture of a Topo Chico bottle on my back patio.
Love
my
it.
mom liked it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. At that point, I'm 47 years
Right.
old, and
Yeah.
I'm entering in the social media world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which I just, been a mom posting pictures of my dog and, kids
Totally.
making,
Yeah.
school projects.
Yeah.
Like now all of a sudden I'm wanting to use social media
Yeah.
and digital marketing as an actual platform
Yeah.
to get my message out.
Yep.
So I'm on a fast track with technology. That was, daunting, but
course.
made it through. Again, we can do these things.
We can do anything that we can do anything actually that we
Totally.
decide to do, that we choose to do, like you said. Well, this is how I found you. I found you on social media.
Yeah, well, good. It works.
It does. I found you on social media,
Yay.
and I think like I DM'd you, didn't I? I think I did.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe email. I don't know how it happened, but I did. Yeah.
And so, so I just started slowly. I offered everything for free at the beginning because I didn't have any expenses.
Yeah.
I just really
Yeah,
wanted
just
to have
you.
as many women as I could.
That's great.
As I began to get some traction and realized, there are more women that are interested in this safe space to talk it out, figure it out without having to have all these confines, I started realizing, okay, I think I may need some help. Like this is going from like a hobby, like just kind of passion project to, I think I really do want to scale this. I want to reach as many women as I can.
Yep.
And I want to make what I'm saying and doing duplicatable so that it can reach more women. And that's when I started charging for my 21-day reset challenge, which actually I found gave women more success than when I was giving it away for free.
Why? Because they spent money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When people
they committed.
they pay attention.
Yes.
And so what I was doing was charging way less. I still charge the same amount today that I did in 2018.
Wow. That's great. Yeah.
Not
It's not
counting all the inflation in my expenses. It's not about the money. It's about having some skin in the game.
skin in the game for
And
sure.
it's less than what they're spending on alcohol.
Yes, for sure.
So I can literally save women money. So I started doing that, and then I realized, there are probably by 2019 I'd helped maybe 2,000
Amazing.
women come through the 21-day reset challenge, which was super duper exciting. So I hosted a live event in my hometown of Fort Worth, Texas, and 75 women from all over the country flew in.
No.
We'd never met each other before, only virtually, and we were like, you're real. You are a real person.
And these were the people, so they went through it together. So you have this platform.
There was a lot of camaraderie.
Right? You have a platform.
support.
It's a very
Yes.
cool platform, actually. I'm saying this so that people out there can go check it out because you can chat with people. Like you just chat with people about what you're going through. And when you're part of the challenge, you do it together.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so
much
you're not alone.
relatability, so much of the struggle is real. And
Yeah, it
when you
is.
get on at wine o'clock and you're trying to change that habit and you can see that someone else is doing the same thing, there's just connection. They say this, there's a great TED Talk out there. Connection is the antidote to addiction.
Oh, I
And
love that. I didn't
addiction-
know that. That's great.
Yeah. It's really connection is the key. The answer is not necessarily sobriety to
Right.
addiction. It's connection to addiction. And Dr. Gabor Mate says addiction is doing anything repetitively, even after having negative results or consequences.
Okay.
Well, that's in a lot of areas of life.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
why I think addiction or an addictive behavior, it sounds so ominous.
It
Like, oh
does.
my gosh,
Yeah.
addiction. But really, if you look at addiction, you can look at it with scrolling, with shopping,
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
eating,
Yeah.
so many things. And it's
Yes.
just doing the same thing over and over again, even after you're getting those negative results.
Yeah.
The hangover, the weight gain, the wasted money, the duplicity in your own life, whatever it is. And so the
Yeah.
connection piece is critical.
Connection
So that was
piece.
kind of in 2019.
That's critical. And then also just understanding your own behavior. I think this is an opportunity here with us talking and with everything you're sharing and saying for everyone who's listening to just do some reflection.
Yeah, become an observer
Become
in
an
your
observer.
own life. Instead of a judge,
Right.
I would do that. I would wake up at 3 a.m., the dreaded 3 a.m. wake-up call
Yeah.
when you've had a few drinks. There's a reason for that, by the way. There's a total scientific reason for the 3 a.m. wake-up call.
What is it?
There's actually a chemical in your body because you can't have something go up without it coming down. So the dopamine, the reward center, is just totally lit up when you're getting that first drink. And throughout the evening, that dopamine starts to drop.
Okay.
But the dynorphin, okay, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but it's amazing what you can learn out there and what I can teach because I can say it in layman's terms.
Good, which is what we all need.
I'm
That's
like,
what we want. Yes.
That's a big word, I know. And
Yeah.
I've got medical people listening who are like, yes, I know about dynorphin. Well, all I know is that it really does counteract a lot of that dopamine.
Okay.
Meanwhile, your cortisol is spiking because that anxiety is rising. And so all that is happening in your body. So you're going to wake up at 3 a.m. with a feeling of dread, a dry mouth, a feeling of like, oh no, I did it again. And there you are
Yeah.
in the dead of night, usually just laying there thinking,
Yeah.
what a loser. And that's when we beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
And that's when we're not in the observing mode. We're in the judgment mode. And then we shame ourselves thinking if I just almost like shame myself bad enough, surely I won't do it again.
Right.
We do it again.
Of course.
And then we feel more defeated. So it's such a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So I love what you're saying, Cathy, about being an observer, not judging, but reflecting and just going,
Yes.
There's a reason why we do what we do.
There's something going on here. Yeah, this
What
is
is
what I'm
that?
doing. This is my now ritual. Do I want
Yeah.
it to be a habit? Do I want it to be just a moment? Or do I recognize that it has become a ritual?
And that's why curiosity, that's why I love the term sober curious so much. And that's why I think curiosity and compassion are the two C's that I would lean into. Just to be curious
I like that.
and realize that, you're just going with the flow.
Yep.
And the flow of our society, of our culture is, come on, let's meet for drinks. You can have just one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the current.
It is.
And so to kind of even go, not even against the current, but just to begin to stop and go, well, what am I doing? Is a really big step.
Well, it is though. And I'll tell you because you and I met, when we met, we talked and you said, do the October 21 day reset. And then we'll talk about it. And the first thing I said to you when we got on the air was, well, I tried it and I started it, but I did not do all 21 days. It's because I went out, and like I'm with friends and, so I could fine for a couple days and I was home and it's no big deal. And then I'm out and I'm like, yeah, I'll have a cocktail. And then you said, that's okay. You said it's okay. You're like, that's okay. You're curious and you're here and this is the step, it's like saying, I'm curious now, now I'm like looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't unknow what you know. And so my
Right.
goal in the 21 days is not to get someone to just not drink for 21 days.
Yeah.
My hope and desire for you and anyone who takes my reset challenge, which the good news is once you get in, you're in. You have
I love it.
access to all of those days again.
Great.
Like you can literally do it again on your own anytime and just start again today.
Yeah.
You can start your track again. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm always like, but what did you learn?
Yeah.
If we forget you could call it a mistake. You might not even call it a mistake.
No.
You may just call it a feedback loop, a data point.
Data point, I think, is great.
It's a data point.
Yeah.
You're just doing recon.
Yes.
And
And when there's no judgment involved, it's a lot easier to just say, you can literally just make a choice of, okay, I'm seeing this. I get this. I see it.
Or even just drink less and pay attention to the difference
And see
of
what
how
that
feels.
is, right? Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Or start a journal and go, you know what? While I'm still drinking, I'm just going to journal what I'm thinking. In my book,
I
Look
love
Alive
that.
Sis, which I just happen to have sitting right here, literally. I was using it earlier for something. I didn't go get it.
That's so funny. I love that
In
you
my
have
book,
it there.
Look
That's
Alive
great.
Sis, I say I had more of a thinking problem than a drinking problem.
What is that? Tell.
And it's true. I think it's all about ultimately our thinking and the value that we assign to alcohol. You see, before I was a drinker, I didn't assign any value to alcohol. It was all around me.
But you weren't thinking
I
about
was in
it.
a sorority at a state school. I was going to frat houses all the time.
Yeah.
It was all around me.
Right.
I had no value assigned to it. My
Right.
thinking was, that looks a little bit, back in my younger days, a little bit, rebellious, scary, dangerous, late 80s, early 90s. This is pre-Uber, pre-cell phone.
Yeah.
I just wasn't a wild child. I was kind of more of a rule follower.
Yeah.
But it also helped me not assign any value to alcohol.
Right.
In fact, I devalued it. I looked at it as like, I think I'm fine.
Doesn't
I
look
think
good
I'm
to
done
me.
with that. I don't need it.
Good.
And then when I started drinking, I started assigning more and more value to it. The more I was a drinker, the more valuable it became to me, to the point where there was one point or more in my 40s, in my early 40s, where I was like, the only way I'm going to get through this is if I can have a glass of wine to chill my nerves.
Yeah.
That wasn't really true.
Right.
That was my thinking.
That was your thinking.
That was my thinking about alcohol.
I've been in
And so-
circumstances like that in my life. And when I look back on my life chapters,
Yes.
one specific chapter where I thought that very much so, when I was with a particular group of people, I thought, it's the only way is going to be the wine. Yep.
Oh, get me through.
Get
my
me through it.
companion, like my bestie.
Yep.
Like, let's do this
Yep.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this together.
Right.
And so I just assigned so much value to it. So part of my journey into choosing to live this alcohol-free lifestyle, really my goal is to be sober-minded, which is awake, alert, aware, and present in my own life. That's sober-minded living.
I love that.
I don't really walk around saying I'm sober. Yes, I'm AKA Sober Sis on Instagram.
Yeah, you
really,
are.
because I just needed it shortened from Sober-Minded Sisterhood. That was a little long.
Yeah.
The old IG, so I shortened it down to Sober Sis.
I love it.
In 2018, that wasn't taken.
Oh,
Now
girl.
that would be like
Yeah.
a dream to get such a succinct,
It's
concise,
perfect.
little Instagram handle.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I was like, sober-minded sisterhood. I mean, I could have gone on and on describing it. I needed it short.
Perfect.
But being sober-minded is really working on your mind.
I love that. And that is something, as we awaken, whatever the time of our life is, it's in more than one way. It's not necessarily just about alcohol. It's about what am I doing?
It's so much bigger.
What am I doing here? What is it all about? That's sober-minded, is to really reflect and learn and think and bring into your life the things that are of value.
Yes. Then you can choose what you value.
Yeah.
Because you've got the clarity and the peace internally.
Yeah.
To then, and just again, dialing back the anxiety, the mental tug of war, the amount of bandwidth drinking took from me that I could now give to something else, like a passion, like a purpose that I would never have dreamt I would have had.
Yeah.
Coming into, my young 30s as a casual drinker, to go into my late 40s, taking this on as a real mission.
It is a mission, and you've helped, I think, what is the number you said, like 40,000, 44,000 women, something like that. That, you've got to feel so good about that. I mean, that's so
it is
important.
Rewarding. And, women will take what they need and leave the rest. And you've heard the old saying before, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. So I just feel like I'm there to hold the line, hold space for, if you're ready to get curious, not ready to never drink again, but just ready to get curious. then let's start there.
Yep.
With no judgment. In fact, you don't have to get a 21-day, check the box count. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
And then we can work our way into the layers.
Yes.
And the layers of sober-minded living.
Yes.
Which the further you get away from alcohol, the deeper you get into sober-minded living. And then that's where I really have spent my time growing and learning still as a person every day.
Wow. I love it sounds so inviting, doesn't it? To me, it sounds inviting.
Versus like you said, like a death sentence of wow, I just am never going to drink again. How would I ever have fun again?
How would I ever? I'm feeling like a bad person.
There's so much attachment we have.
Yeah.
And if we can just observe our thoughts, and that's one thing I was going to say for your listener, is even if you're listening to me, maybe download the free guide, hop in our free community. I have so many free resources. But even you just grabbing a journal and going, you know what, I'm not changing anything yet. I'm just going to be observing.
Right.
What if you just wrote down, this morning I woke up a little bit hungover from last night. Again, not debilitating, just foggy mind, kind of dragging, don't have quite the energy. Just, I'm feeling it. Last night's hanging over into today.
Right.
That's all a hangover is. I think there's a full hangover spectrum as well.
Okay. That's interesting.
There's a hangover spectrum. Because one drink is going to give you a hangover symptom, even if it's not the best night's sleep. And then that's going to create a little bit of withdrawal. Some of us feel that as restlessness. Some of us feel that as a pounding headache that you don't want to get up off the floor and the sunlight's too bright. That's a hangover spectrum right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where some people are like, oh, well, I'll just power through my Pilates class, And then for others, it's like, I'm going to have to call in. I don't think I can do today.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a spectrum there, but even one drink causes a ripple effect. The U.S. Surgeon General has come out and said there is no healthy amount of alcohol with benefit. None.
Zero.
Zippo. They used to kind of almost recommend. Now they have recommendations for not being full-blown physically addicted if you're going to drink, but there is no recommended for health benefit amount.
No.
And I find that really great.
No, I think that is great. It's just like when smoking came out, and there was warnings on the cigarette packages. It's like, no, this is cancerous. So there was this stat that I found that said, here's what officially considered risky or heavy drinking for women per the U.S. National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism: more than 3 drinks in a day or more than 7 drinks per week.
Per week. Come on. I mean, anyone who is even a social, habitual, or certainly a routine drinker is probably going to get in the 7 drinks a week.
Sure.
Pretty easily.
Easily.
Actually.
Totally. Yep.
Not hard to do.
No, it's not hard to do. And then
not hard to do. In fact, I think it's harder to have 7 drinks a week than to have none.
See, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing is.
I do.
Is there such a thing as moderation? Really? I mean, can people really drink in moderation? I guess people can. I mean, people do, right?
And I think people do. And I think people that do drink in moderation, again, going with these, probably ever shifting goalpost of like the 7 drinks per week. Let's just talk about for women.
Yeah.
You can do that if you're really, really regimented and focused, or you devalue alcohol so much that you really can take it or leave it.
Right.
Which person that's taking it or leaving it without any real thought is probably not, quote, moderating. They're just not really a big drinker.
And they're all, that's what I was going to say. They probably just don't drink.
To be a habitual routine drinker and moderate, now we're talking about something else versus someone who's like, it's not my thing. I could take it or leave it. They're not moderating.
They're not moderate drinkers. They're just like, they're not really drinkers, actually.
They're just not really that big of a drinker.
See, that's what it is. See, that is actually a little clarifying moment for me right now because
hey,
I think that.
Me too. I'm like, wait a minute.
Maybe there's just not such a thing. It's just, you probably just need to be
But I think once you've created a mental emotional connection with alcohol
Mm-hmm.
with a value assigned to it of this makes me relax, this
Right.
makes me more fun,
Right.
this helps me connect with my husband, my friends, this is how I handle stress. You're past the point of this take it or leave it 7 drinks a week person.
Yeah.
Now you are going to have to quote moderate, or as I say in my 21-day reset, manage. It becomes a
Yeah.
management job. It
Yep.
becomes like a part-time management job and you're
Yeah.
not getting paid. You're paying
You're
and you're
paying
working. You're
and you're
working
working.
really hard.
It's true.
And
It's
can it be
true.
done? Yes, I could do it until I couldn't. I could moderate sometimes for weeks or months at a time, back
Right.
to that kind of 80-20 rule. Like
Yep.
80% of the time, I got this.
Yep.
I got this. I
Yep.
know my limits. I'm not going to cross them.
Yeah.
I'm not making fool of myself. I didn't lose my filter.
Right.
I didn't overdo it. I'm
No.
going to all my stuff the next morning.
Yeah.
I'm chipper.
Yeah.
Like I had the 80% rule, but that was a management for me.
Right. I think a lot of us operate in that world, Jen. I really do. I think a
Yeah.
lot of women absolutely
Yeah, it's
operate in
really
that world.
normal, and
You
we've
get
kinda
up, you
normalized
go.
it.
Yep. And that's just what it is. Yeah. So what we're doing here is we are just pausing and we're taking a look and we're using this opportunity with you to say, you know what? I'm just going to take a look at this for myself, just me, myself, and I.
For
I'm doing it
yourself.
with myself, and I'm going
like
to decide what this is for me. What is it for me, and what do I want to do with it? Not about it, with it. So
Right,
it's like
I like
you're in
that.
it, you're with it, as opposed to
Yes.
no judgment, no unkind words to yourself. Just like let's take a little look at this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get a data point or some feedback,
Mhm.
it's feedback. It's not
Yeah.
a setback. It's
No,
feedback.
see, so positive. That's so positive. It just is
I mean, a
just
setback is like, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, clearly
yes.
I can't do this,
Mm-mm.
whatever, wheels off for the next 3 weeks and just
No,
blow it out.
no.
What if it's like, okay, well, okay. I said I wasn't gonna drink tonight, or I did, or I said I was gonna have one night 3.
Yeah.
So how's that
Okay.
working for me?
There it goes.
Not
There
that
it
great.
is.
It's not really what I wanted to do, so it's
Right.
valuable feedback,
Yep.
so I can play the movie forward next
Right.
time I get in that situation.
Right. Correct. And this is what I need around me to help me
Right.
do it differently. And that's what is so
Set
neat
yourself
about
up for more success.
set yourself up for success. So that's why. So what? Just so everybody knows, there, I will have a link to your site on the Inside the Wellspace website under your
Nice.
episode. So that way people can access it,
Awesome.
or
Yeah.
people can follow you on Instagram, Sober
Right.
Sis, right?
Yep.
At Sober Sis.
At Sober Sis, one word.
Yep, at Sober Sis. And, you can then go to the website, sobersis.com, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice and
And
easy.
find literally everything and just research it for yourself, which I think is so wonderful that you have free. It's free.
Yes. I've written, back in
Yep.
the blogging days, which I
Yep.
think people still like to read,
Of
kind of
course.
articles or stories.
Yes, totally.
So I've got lots of those. Yeah, I'm all about trying to reach people where they are,
Yeah.
listening, watching,
Yeah.
reading.
For us, as we explore ourselves and get to know ourselves and really take a look at something that maybe we haven't really been paying attention to have a community that's there and open and non-judgmental, and information that's there and helpful and non-judgmental is really the beginning of something that is quite special and lucky to come upon, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just, it has been a joy to get to do what I get to do. It's been a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, anything in life is that
Yeah.
matters,
Of course it is.
but it does feel good to know that, I think everybody has a story. Everybody has
Yep.
a story to tell. And I
do.
think for me, when I was in the height of kind of my shame storm around drinking, even bringing it up, I was like, I think I was so afraid of being missed for who I was, that people would just hear me talking about a choice or a behavior or a substance, and then every worst thing that they thought about every story that they've ever heard would like all land on me. And I think that when we get to know people for where they're at, then we understand more why they do what they do and
I
the
love
struggle. And I think we have to start that with ourselves first.
100%. And once we do that with ourselves, we're more able to do it with other people.
Yes.
Right?
And then you realize you're really not alone. I
Never.
mean,
Nope.
it's easy to feel isolated when you're with a divided mind
Yep.
because there's already that ping pong back and forth. So
Exactly.
yeah, come find us.
Yes.
Come find us and
What
join
would
in the conversation. We need
join?
more in the conversation.
Yes, and we can all add to conversations. So as we say sort of goodbye in the next few minutes, what would you want to leave her with?
Yeah. Well, I would say if you're feeling that nudge inside, not that it's bad enough, but that it's not good enough.
Hmm.
Listen. Listen to that little inner voice,
Yeah.
that spirit inside that says, there is more. You're settling.
Yeah.
Don't settle. Bust out. Come alive because the world needs something that you have to offer with your sober mind. It's like a superpower.
Hmm.
What can you bring to the world by being fully present in it? And so I would say listen to that voice and don't compare yourself to somebody else because that kept me stuck for a long time. I was like, well, I'm not that bad.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that good for me.
Right.
So ask yourself the best question. Not is it bad enough, but is it good enough?
I love that. That is wonderful. Jenn, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for
and
having me.
sharing
This was
everything.
awesome.
Well, you're fantastic and you're doing amazing things for the girls out there. So really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Inside the Wellspace. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.